High school football in St. Johns County, we have turned the corner in the postseason. Week 3 of the state playoffs, and we've lost one team each week, down to one team tonight. St. Augustine High School, 12-0, hosts Tallahassee Godby, 10-2, in the Class 3A Regional Finals. The winner moves on to the state semifinals. We'll recap last week's games first. We started with 2 last week. Nease in Class 4A, St. Augustine in 3A. Nease did not make it out, lost 24-15 to Ridgeview, ends their season 7-4. Ridgeview's second win over Nease this season. Pretty comfortable wins each time, too. A 28-22 win earlier in the season. Ridgeview showing that was no fluke, so the Panthers end without another trip to the state championship game. They had been 3 consecutive years, no fourth this year for Nease. St. Augustine High School in 3A, a big 27-14 win over Andrew Jackson. That matchup was one of the most high-profile pairings in the state. It was the only matchup between two 11-0 teams in the second round, and it was all St. Augustine High School kind of turning the tables on Andrew Jackson. Jackson had not surrendered more than 13 to a team all season, and St. Augustine had more than that midway through the second quarter. So the Jackets led 20-0 at halftime, stretched it to 27-0, and weathered a late Jackson passing flurry. Nigel Mitchell passed for more than 250 yards in that game, and the Jackets weather it with defense, forced a couple picks, and recovered a fumble in that one to really seize control and weather the storm at the end of Andrew Jackson, which is good that St. Augustine saw all that passing because they're going to need that against Tallahassee Godby. Godby, an air team, last week, they love to throw it around. 343 yards through the air, 5 passing touchdowns last week. So St. Augustine probably good that they saw Nigel Mitchell and Jackson throwing around as much as they did last week because they're going to need it against Godby. Godby, a team that St. Augustine does know and fans do remember from last year. The Yellow Jackets won 44-14 at this same point last season, and it was all St. Augustine in that one, 30-0 lead, a big one. They had jumped out to a lead identical to that, 30-0 in the previous game in 2007, so really kind of followed a pattern. And St. Augustine High School looking to do it again against Jackson. A little bit of a downer last week from the game against Jackson. St. Augustine quarterback Kyle West, who passed for 160 yards, injured his knee late in the game and left on crutches. He said after the game last week that he hoped to be here in the Godby game and couldn't count him out for that one. So we'll see how Kyle West heals up during the week and if he makes it out for the field Friday night. The winner of this game, if St. Augustine wins, it will go on the road. It will play the winner of the Pasco and Citro North Marion game. Those two teams, whoever comes out of that, would host a potential state semifinal game for St. Augustine High School. So we'll check back with you next week for a rack up of the regional final games and potential state semifinal games here in St. Johns County.